The AGT auditorium is packed, buzzing with excitement and the electric tension that only live performances create. The massive screens glow with shades of blue and gold as the announcer introduces the next contestant. Suddenly, the lights dim, and a soft haze of fog rolls across the stage floor. The audience automatically quiets, sensing something different from the usual entries. Out of the fog, a lone figure steps forward, tall, poised, and wearing a sparkling black jacket reminiscent of 1970s rock royalty. The spotlight hits him, revealing a young Filipino man with slicked back hair, deep eyes, and a calm, confident stance. He introduces himself softly, his voice carrying a gentle accent. There is something mysterious about him, something that makes even Simon lean forward slightly. The judges exchange curious glances. No fancy props. No dancers. No band behind him. Just a microphone stand and one man with an aura that hints at something extraordinary. The audience waits. Some smile politely, thinking he'll sing a tribute song like many others. Someone whispers, probably another Elvis cover. But the contestant's quiet confidence tells a different story. He breathes deeply, gripping the microphone with a sense of reverence, as though preparing for something sacred. The silence grows heavy, almost dramatic. And then, the music starts. A single guitar chord slices through the silence, echoing across the hall in a way that feels both nostalgic and strangely powerful. The contestant lowers his head, letting the music settle into his body. When he finally lifts his face, his expression has transformed. Gone is the shy, humble contestant. Standing in his place is a man channeling a presence far greater, almost mythical. The audience knows, in that very moment, that something unforgettable is about to unfold. The instant the contestant opens his mouth, the entire hall freezes. His voice, deep, warm, and hauntingly familiar, cuts through the atmosphere like a lightning bolt. It is unmistakable. It is Elvis. Not an imitation, not a parody, Elvis himself, resurrected in sound. The tone, the vibrato, the richness of the lower register, everything sends chills down the audience's spines. People who were leaning back suddenly jerk forward. A woman in the second row gasps loudly. Heidi places her hand on her chest in disbelief. Simon's eyebrows shoot up, and he lowers his pen, completely captivated. Even backstage, contestants who were preparing for their turn slowly gather around the monitors, their expressions shifting from confusion to awe. As the contestant sings, his voice fills every corner of the auditorium with soul and nostalgia. Phones begin to rise quietly, not in a disrespectful way, but because people genuinely feel they are witnessing a once-in-a-generation moment worth remembering forever. The cameraman zooms in. His face glows with passion yet carries the humility of someone honoring a legend he deeply respects. The music echoes with emotional weight. The crowd, silent at first, begins reacting, soft murmurs, goosebumps, shivers. His voice transitions smoothly between soft whispers and powerful belts. Even the judges, who have heard thousands of performances, look hypnotized. Simon's face shows something rare, complete, stunned disbelief mixed with admiration. As he reaches a powerful note, a wave of applause sweeps the room, though the audience quickly quiets again, not wanting to miss a single second. The atmosphere transforms. This isn't just singing. This is a revival. A rebirth. A moment in AGT history that will be replayed long after the curtains close. Halfway through the performance, something magical happens, something that takes the moment from impressive to legendary. The contestant begins to move. Not with exaggerated imitation, but with the natural charisma, rhythm, and swagger that Elvis himself embodied. The slight tilt of the hip, the controlled sway, the finger point, everything feels authentic, not forced. The audience erupts again, sensing the transformation in real time. The stage lighting shifts into warm amber tones, wrapping him in a vintage rock and roll glow. The orchestra subtly enhances the arrangement, giving the performance a cinematic richness. As he continues, the vocalist begins adding gentle variations, proving he isn't just copying Elvis, he's interpreting him, channeling him, keeping the soul alive through his own artistry. Meanwhile, backstage chaos breaks out, in the best way. Crew workers stop mid-task. Contestants abandon makeup rooms. Cameramen huddle around screens. Everyone watches, speechless, murmuring things like, "That's not possible, he sounds exactly like him," and "This is historic." On stage, the energy surges. The Filipino singer hits a run so smooth, so perfectly placed, that even Howie claps mid-performance, something he rarely does. The audience rises to their feet again, and the cheers become louder, more emotional. Some fans old enough to have lived through Elvis's era find tears welling in their eyes. They've waited decades to feel this magic again. The contestant, lost in the music, closes his eyes and sings with raw passion. His voice cracks slightly, not from weakness, but from authenticity. That crack sends the audience into an emotional explosion. Every second feels alive, electric, and unforgettable. By the time he approaches the final chorus, the energy is so intense that it feels like the entire auditorium is vibrating. This is no longer a performance, it's a miracle unfolding on stage. When the final note hits, it's so powerful, so filled with soul, that the entire hall stays frozen for half a second, breathless. And then, all at once, the room erupts. People scream. Some jump. Some clap wildly. It becomes chaos in the most beautiful way possible. The applause shakes the walls. Howie jumps to his feet instantly. Sophia covers her mouth, her eyes wide, whispering, "No way, no way." Heidi looks emotional, visibly moved by the beauty and power of the moment. But it's Simon's reaction that seals the significance of the performance. Simon breaks into a massive smile, rare, genuine, uncontrollable. He leans all the way forward, shaking his head in disbelief. He stands, claps slowly, then faster, and finally looks directly at the contestant with admiration usually reserved for the greatest discoveries in AGT history. The contestant stands on stage, trembling, overwhelmed by the explosive reaction. His eyes shine with tears, but he keeps steady, bowing deeply in respect. The judges begin speaking one by one, each trying to find words big enough to fit the moment. Sophia goes first. This is beyond talent. This is magic. You brought a legend back." Howie almost shouts, "You are a legend yourself after tonight." Heidi says softly, "I felt chills from the first second to the last. It was like Elvis walked onto our stage." Then Simon steps in, silence falling instantly. He says in a deep, sincere voice, "Some performances entertain. Some amaze. But once in a lifetime, a performance defines what this show is about. You didn't just sing like Elvis, you brought him back to life. And you did it with respect, beauty, and unbelievable skill. This was a moment the world will talk about for years." The audience roars even louder, knowing something big is coming next. As the audience continues roaring, a chant begins, soft at first, then louder, then thunderous. "Golden buzzer! Golden buzzer! Golden buzzer!" The judges glance at one another, smiling wide. The contestant, standing in a mix of shock and hope, covers his mouth, trying not to cry. The entire atmosphere feels like it's vibrating with excitement. Even the host backstage can't stop grinning, whispering, "This is it, this is the moment." Simon looks down at the golden buzzer, then slowly rises from his seat. The entire room explodes. Fans scream. Cameras flash. The singer's knees buckle slightly as he realizes what's happening. Simon walks toward the center of the desk with a look of absolute certainty. This contestant isn't just good, he is historic. Simon places his hand over the golden buzzer, turns to the singer, and says, "You deserve the world to see what you just did." Boom! His hand slams the buzzer. Golden confetti bursts into the air, swirling in a glowing cloud of shimmering light. The music surges. The audience screams louder than ever before. The Filipino contestant collapses to his knees, crying tears of joy, overwhelmed by emotion. He clutches his face, unable to believe that his dream, something he may have carried since childhood, is happening right in front of him. The judges rush to the stage. Heidi gives him a hug. Sophia wipes a tear from her eye. Howie pats his back proudly. But it's Simon who places a hand on his shoulder and says, "You made tonight unforgettable. You made history." Backstage, contestants cheer. Crew members clap. The internet begins exploding, clips uploaded instantly, comments flooding in, hashtags trending worldwide. People won't call him an Elvis impersonator. They will call him something stronger. The king returns, and he's Filipino.